So it really does feel like we are on the verge of getting a ceasefire deal agreed to. In terms of the details of the agreement, we understand that it's going to be a phased deal, similar to what was discussed back in the summer. But what details do we know at this point?
So we are very much on the verge of a deal. In fact, there were high expectations that there'd be an announcement last night. That didn't come. We don't think there's any major sticking point at this stage. We do have to caution that the thing could still collapse, and all sides are saying that, from the US to Israel to Hamas to Qatar. But broadly, they've agreed on a 42-day ceasefire. It's going to see the release of 33 hostages held in Gaza in that time, and an as yet undisclosed number of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails. Some of those 33 hostages are almost certainly going to be people who have been killed in captivity. The US and pretty much all sides want to ensure this turns into a permanent cessation of hostilities. Israel is still saying it must reserve the right to resume fighting against Hamas. Its long goal has obviously been to destroy the organization, but the US has been working on wording that obviously satisfies Hamas and Israel, that essentially makes it quite difficult for fighting to resume after this has started. Another key element is that aid, as the US says, will surge into Gaza as soon as the ceasefire starts.
Yeah, much needed humanitarian aid, and of course the establishment of that buffer zone as well, which seems to be agreed to in the draft proposal that's been put forward. Let's talk about the bipartisan push that we've seen over the past week to get this deal across the line, because the Biden administration has tried over the course of the summer unsuccessfully to get both sides to agree to a ceasefire deal, and it seems like it took a bit of a push from the Trump administration. We had the Trump Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, in the region engaging with the negotiators, speaking to the Israeli Prime Minister. What does that tell us about the longevity of the deal, given that it feels as though it's got both sides supporting it, both the left and the right in the US?
It really does, and I think that's been one of the interesting aspects about this latest push to get a ceasefire. It's been Trump and Biden's teams working together, and they've made very clear that they want a ceasefire in place before Trump takes office on Monday, on January 20th. So this is why this week is so crucial. It doesn't mean that everything collapses if we don't have a deal by Monday, but very much Trump and Biden want it done by then. I think that combined pressure on both Hamas and Israel has got the two sides to the point where we are now, closer than ever. From Israel's point of view, I think Trump has made it very clear to Netanyahu and other members of the Israeli government that he does not want a war on his plate in Gaza when he starts, and I think that has really concentrated Israel's minds, more so than, let's say, if Biden had won the administration and was about to start, had won the election and was about to start a second term. Netanyahu does not want there to be sort of any gap between him and Trump going into the start of Trump's second term.